thought I'd go into a little more detail about this old Ford. I do like this old truck. It's got some neat old features. It's got the running boards. You know, you don't see that too often, even on these old ones. I don't think these were actually for this truck, but they look pretty good on it. It's got the handles. I call them the hillbilly handles for hanging off the side of the truck, you know, when you're carrying the big mob, chasing somebody. You know, the box, of course, the wheel lips are rotten out and have been patched before, and the patch fell off. Now you can see I got to get the touch-up brush paint that this thing's coated in, paint that up someday, but might not even bother really. I mean, it is an old truck. It's actually got these really neat turning signals. These actually blink, and you can see them from inside, and you can see which blinker's on. I mean, you obviously have lights in the dash for that, but it is a cool little feature that, you know, most of these old trucks didn't actually have. Like I said before, she's 4-speed, you know, needs a little body work here and there, but, you know, floor's still actually solid around there. It's just right there, there's a big friggin' hole. The seats, well, the seats were never bolted on since I had the thing. It's just sitting on bricks. Sometimes it's a little treacherous when you're driving down the highway and your seat collapses out from under you and you're almost falling off the door. That's kind of fun, but... Alright, let's pop the hood on this sucker. Oh yeah, check this gauge out. A fuel saver gauge. Biggest choke of the world. You know, they sold these at Crappy Tire for years. And they hook up to your vacuum lines or whatnot, but there's some kind of gook that built up. I thought it was plastic at first, but it's actually some kind of crud that built up inside the gauge and then all fell to the bottom, and now the gauge doesn't work anymore. But who needs a fuel saver gauge in a truck like this? You're not going to save fuel. It's an old beast. You don't want to save fuel. You want to eat the fuel so it goes fast. Alright, now to pop the hood. It's usually a bit of an adventure. Okay. There we go. Had to do the special little trick. Where's that handle at? There we go. Alright. Now you can see the old straight 6 300. It's quite a beast. That friggin', what is that, power steering pump belt keeps going on backwards. Even though I turn it around the other way, it flips itself around. I don't know how. I actually had it fall off once, took it to a garage, and they told me, or he just topped up my transmission fluid and said, or the power steering fluid rather, and said, oh, you're fine. He didn't even notice that the belt was hanging there off this pulley. But some people aren't too bright. You might see that shiny fuel pump 5 years ago. I actually had that put on. That was one of the last new parts that went on. This is the newest part on the whole truck. This fuel filter here. There's the old fuel filter in line there. I don't think you can really see it. Oh, kind of. Yeah, it's right there. Those nightmare things that clog if you put a speck in them. So what we did, we just drilled that right out and put this in its place. Haven't had a problem since. Old marine battery usually starts it. I don't know if she'll start right now. I'll give her a try. I think I have keys on me. If I do. It hasn't been started in, I think, 3 weeks, a month, when my dad moved it over to here again. She's got, let's see here. This thing doesn't focus very well, but let's see if I can maybe do that with the zoom. Yeah, you can't really see that well, I guess. A little bit there. It has 95,000 kilometers on it. I wonder how many times that's rolled over. No gas, but it's not turned on, so who knows. You know, custom features. Oh, no radio. Big deal. Cigarette lighter that doesn't work. Speakers, but what do you need speakers for with no radio? Air pump, essential for the truck. Glove box still works. Of course, the rear view fell off. My favorite. It's actually got a gun rack in there, which is kind of funny. I used to like driving around in the city with a gun rack on an old beater truck like this. And the key is even funnier. This is the key here. Oh, it's 2 keys. There you go. This is the key. If if you look very closely up at the top, right up here, where it goes around the keyring, you can see it's worn almost through the hole. And the whole key itself is actually very, very rounded and not jagged or sharp like a newer key at all. But it still starts the truck. That is if she'll start. The battery's probably dead, but nothing. Not even a click. That battery's stone dead. But I'll definitely take a video of this truck when I get it going and do maybe a few burnouts with it. It isn't my truck anymore, it's my dad's, but I'm sure I can get away with a couple burnouts. He'll never know. Even if he does, he'll probably just laugh. But yeah, gotta love these old trucks. They don't build them like they used to. This thing's tough, and she's got power. For a straight 6 300, it's quite amazing how much this can actually pull. And it's a very strong truck. We've loaded it very, very heavy, full of stuff many times, and it loves it. Doesn't have a problem. Maybe he might restore the thing. We'll see. She might become a woods truck too, though my last woods truck didn't last too long. And that's a whole other story.